Hey everyone, good morning and welcome to Morning Tea with me, Tracy V. Allen. And today I have a special guest with me. Her name is Tenesha Grant. And I know Tanisha pretty well, I would say. So Tanisha is a mom, she's a wife, she's also the director of the CRT Women's Empowerment Center, and that's kind of how we met. And so she does a lot holistically as a woman and as a person in the community also. So Tanisha, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience and tell them who Tanisha is?
Good morning, everyone. Like she said, my name is Tanisha, and my full-time job is right now is working for CRT as the director of the Women's Empowerment Center, teacher for the children that are home from school, and also my second passion, which is to help women to be able to thrive in whatever it is that they would like to do. So
Right,
that's in a nutshell of who I am.
right. And you do help a lot of women because at the CRT Women's Empowerment Center, you have women of all different demographics, race, age that come in, and you guys help them to navigate the system and get the services that they need to get from where they are to where they want to be. Correct?
Yeah, and not only that, like right now we're hosting a women's economic empowerment series,
Uh-huh.
and tonight we just finished discussing the different types of insurances. So we're just trying to pretty much find a way to make sure that every woman is be able to be have financial freedom, I should say,
Right,
and that is
right,
by finding ways to be able to manage your money. And if you have some disposable income, how can you invest that in compound it so to make it more than what it is? So my passion, like I said, is to help all women, and not just anyone that is in a crisis or struggling, but also women that may have that may be established and may want to also do some things with themselves as well.
right.
And
But
so,
that's
and
still
that's kind of
taking them
like
from
what
where they
drives
are
me.
now. That's still taking them from
Yeah,
where they are now to where they actually want to be.
correct.
Yeah,
Yes, it
yeah. No
is.
matter where you are,
Yes, it is.
we all have a
Mm-hmm.
place that we're trying to get to, and we need
Mm-hmm.
someone to help us navigate that road and get there.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that kind of
And that's kind of like,
segues. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, yeah.
Yeah, that kind of segues into our next thing is that I know you've been, you know, uh, trying to figure out what you can do to make some extra money on the side. Even though I do know also that you have the full time job and you do have a part time job already. So,
Mm-hmm.
but
I
I
do.
mean, still, sometimes you need more than one part time job. And you were trying
Mm-hmm.
to figure out what type of business you could possibly start in order to get that done. And then you called me about a week ago and you told me you joined Mary Kay.
Yes.
So how did that happen? Why beauty? That's why this is called Make Up My Life. So how is Mary Kay making up your life?
So that's the thing. Like I was purchasing Mary Kay products already for
Okay.
myself, right? I love the Scarekin line, the 3D Miracle set, and I would like get compliments all the time about, oh, your skin looks so nice. What are you doing for your skin? Are you wearing makeup? Today I'm wearing makeup, but most times I don't, and so I would get asked that a lot. And so I was like, nope, I just use the cleanser and the moisturizer from Mary Kay. And that's what I've been doing now for religiously for over a year. And so it just made sense to me to invest in the product that I'm using every day and that I've always been getting compliments on for my skin. So um, I reached out to my director and said, "Hey, I'm thinking about doing this. I'm on the fence with it. I'm not really a great salesperson, but I know that this is something that I want to do. I don't want to be at people's houses all the time. I don't want to have a lot of." So I had a lot of things that I
You had
didn't
a lot
know.
of objections.
Right? I'm a really busy person,
Right.
and so but I love the product so much and I want to be able to get them 50% off. And so the only way to do that is for me to be able to become an independent beauty consultant.
Mhm.
And which I did. And it's not hard for me to be able to talk, like I said, to talk about the product because I've been using it now for over a year. Me, my mom uses it, my daughters use it. My son, he'll kill me for this saying this, but he's starting to have acne on his face. And so I just bought the acne line for him as well. So I mean, it's really a great product to use.
Okay. And what you say is so important because I always tell people do what you love, but you can also
Mm-hmm.
do and what you already invest in. So if you're
Mm-hmm.
already using a product and there's a way to make money from that product and you actually like the product that you're using, why not become a salesperson for the product? You were already selling the product without even selling the product. So you were
Mm-hmm.
selling the product just by showing up, your skin looking flawless, looking radiant, and people asking you, hey, what are you using? And you were telling them, hey, I'm using X, Y, and Z. And because you weren't selling the product, you were probably referring them to the person you were getting the product from, or
Yeah.
they knew someone else who was selling Mary Kay and they would go ask that person for the product. So
Mm-hmm.
why not capitalize on that and make some extra money for yourself? So I think that was a smart move, you know. And I
And,
laugh because the objections that you have is usually the objections that most people have in
mm-hmm.
joining MLMs, multi-level marketing companies, or even when they're starting their own businesses. A lot of people are like, I'm not a salesperson. I can't sell. What? I don't want
Mm-hmm.
to be around people like that. But if you really want to make money, you got to come out from within your shell and step forward and do it.
Like when I made my first order the other day, which was Saturday, let me see. So it came up to about $700 for my first order
Mhm.
that I made. That was so invigorating, right? So it just put me to a whole nother, okay, I can continue to keep doing this. Now I want to reach out to see who wants to be on a team with me,
Mhm.
right? So I reached out to some ladies already and said, hey, Mary Kay has this promotion right now where we're giving $25 off to individuals that's looking to start their own business. If they do a quick start with $100,
Mhm.
they'll be able to get $25 off of that. And then if they do the start with the for $130, they get $25 off of that as well, plus a free website and a pro pay account where their transactions can go directly into an account for them.
Mhm.
And so it just really makes sense. So not only so it's doing twofolds, all right. So
Mhm.
I'm making or I'm helping women to feel better about how they look, right, by using the products,
Yep. Making up
which
your life.
is really like what my passion is
Right.
everything, right? So it's serving multiple purposes.
Yes.
And like I said, it just inspired me more to like how many more people can I get on board with this, because this is awesome. And I didn't go out to anyone's home
Mhm.
this weekend at all
Well,
when
I
this
would hope
happened.
not.
I well I had people over Sunday, don't tell anybody. But
Oh,
pretty much that was all done from in my home, sitting on the couch watching TV, where I gave folks my website, and they went onto my website and was able to order the products that they wanted to be for themselves,
mhm.
and it'll be delivered to them. So
But
yeah.
look at you. You just said you were not a salesperson. You were not comfortable selling. And you sat
I
on your
am.
couch and you just sold the heck out of Mary Kay, through your
Hmm.
warm market.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean you never, like, yeah, so and then that's what kind of what
I
happened.
think
So
you
like
don't
I
know what you're capable of until you're put in a situation to do it.
you're right, because my sales director called me. She's like, how's it going? I'm like, not so good. I didn't really focus on it like how I should have. And
Mhm.
she was like, okay, you can do this, Tanisha. And so I was just really just nervous because this isn't something that's normally in my wheelhouse, right?
Right.
So I put up some barriers to myself, and which is kind
Mhm.
of what I try to teach women to stop doing, because because it can open up so many doors for you, and you never know what it is that you're capable of doing until you actually
Right.
try to do it. And
Yeah.
so, and this is my second business that I started in 2 years.
Yeah.
So I helped my husband to
I
start
was going to
a
ask you about
landscaping
that.
business. Yeah, I helped him to start a landscaping business. Now with that, I work from behind the scenes, and then all of the stuff that I'm learning from school, from the workshops that you guys are doing.
Mhm.
I do well behind the scenes with him, because I'm like, okay, did you do this? Did you do this? Did you do this?
Because you
And
take
so
notes. You take a lot of
yeah,
notes when I'm giving those
keeping him
workshops.
on,
So
keeping him on board.
yeah,
So now we're at the point now where we are starting to see some
profit.
profits in our work, and so now we can start putting money to the side and scaling it. So now I'm teaching him essentially stuff that you guys had taught me to do with my husband. So hopefully, not hopefully, I know that it will also transfer over into what I'm doing also with Mary Kay.
Right. So all the time you were sitting in on those workshops and you were taking notes and asking me questions, you didn't realize that you were preparing yourself to actually start your own business, probably with Mary Kay. You didn't know what you were going to go into because I know you
No,
explored a few things, but you
yeah.
finally decided to settle on Mary Kay because you figured that was a better fit for you.
Hmm.
So yeah, I
And I'm
mean,
all about trying to bring in streams of money from all over the place, right?
yeah,
Because I believe that we should have more than one source of income, because look at what's happening right now. We have
exactly.
this pandemic that's
Mhm,
going on. And
mhm,
so I know we're coming out of it soon. But what this has taught me, and I'm quite sure it's taught other women as well, is that you can, even though you're stuck in a house, and you have your computer in front of you, there are other skills that you can tap into that you may not have even known that you are capable of doing.
mhm,
Ideas, like you might have some skills that can be scalable and can be and marketable. So never underestimate what your passion is, and going after it, so that you can start your own business or do whatever it is that you want to do.
yeah, and that is a good point that you made, is that you have to have more than one source of income. It doesn't mean that you have to have 20 million jobs. It just means that you have to diversify your income. So even if you
Hmm.
own your own business, you can have multiple streams of income within the one business. So that if one stream dries up, you have another one to go to. Because like
Hmm.
you said, with COVID-19, the one thing I think it's taught a lot of people is that you have to have that multiple streams,
Hmm.
because there's really no excuse for you not to have money if you're a business owner, because that one thing dried up. Like I know a lot of restaurants weren't able or not going to come back because they were not able to pivot. It's about being adaptable and being able to pivot during a time of
Hmm.
crisis. And contrary to what a lot of people believe, in a crisis, you can make a lot of money.
Hmm.
A
Yeah,
crisis doesn't
you're right.
necessarily mean that you're not going to get paid, that, oh, all of a sudden your bank accounts are going to be drained. If you're able to pivot, it's all about that mindset, like you keep alluding to constantly. It's about the mindset. What is your mind telling you that you need to do? Is your mind adaptable? Can you
Hmm.
focus and reorganize on a whim, or are you just stuck in a place where you're just going to wallow in self-pity, and then that's how you're going to end up in a place where the next thing you're going to be doing is filing for bankruptcy?
Right.
Yeah.
Which is really hard. Like
Mhm.
Mary Kay, for an example, and this is one of the reasons why I'm proud to be an independent beauty consultant for them. When this whole crisis was going on, we turned to making hand sanitizers,
Mhm.
right?
Oh, I didn't
Um,
know they did that.
yeah, for
Okay.
for for um for essential employees.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, so it's all about, like you said, how do you pivot, right?
Mhm.
How do you go from, okay, this is what we were doing, now what can we do that might be a little bit different and still not be able to lose as much money as we
Yeah.
would if we were to
Mhm.
stop altogether. And that's
Yeah.
where you can see some of the restaurants will go into, now they'll do curbside pickup,
Right.
or they'll do like a delivery. They'll start with DoorDash so that you can go
Mhm.
ahead and do it that way.
Right.
Um, And so being able to, and I was on a Zoom the other day with Susan Emilian, and we talked about how you can reinvent yourself. And it's all about assessing what your skills are, what resources you have at your disposal, what
Yeah.
resources you're going to need, and how are you going to utilize those to be able to make it work.
Yeah.
You can do it. You just have to
Exactly.
think outside of the box from
Yeah.
what you would typically do.
Exactly. And that's so true because I know women who were just sewing just for the heck of sewing. You know, it was a hobby, a pastime, and COVID-19 hit, and all of a sudden we're all walking around here like mask bag
Mhm.
robbers, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they pivot and they were able to start making um, a cloth mask. And
Hmm.
some of them have already made 20, 50, $70,000
I can
just from
imagine.
that one pivot. So they may have been making jewelry or t-shirts at one point in time, but nobody's really buying t-shirts per se right now. And they're like, okay, but I know how to sew. So they made one mask for a family member or two family. Somebody was like, oh, that's cute. Can I,
Yeah.
kind of the same thing that you happened with you. If people are constantly asking you a question, and you have to answer that question multiple times, that may be an area that shows you that there's a gap that you may be able to fill in the
Mhm.
marketplace because whatever it is that you are putting off, people want, you know?
Right.
So it's all
Yeah.
about that adaptability. And we
Hmm.
know from working with the women at the Women's Empowerment Center, when you talked about limiting beliefs, that we've dealt with a lot of women like that.
Hmm.
Especially when I came in January and I did that computer class.
Oh,
We had,
listen, they are creating their own Zoom meetings.
I know.
Okay. I said, I gotta
Yeah.
let her know. I gotta let her know about this. They don't need me for
I'm so
anything.
happy.
And that's like the best.
That's
So I
awesome.
was like, I'm gonna tell Tracy that you started your own Zoom meeting without you have your own Zoom account. Like
Nice.
literally they you taught them sending emails,
Yeah.
attachments. I mean
Mhm.
they're doing all of that, and this was all thanks to you showing
Oh,
them how to do it. um and it's just really inspirational to see them as they grow, and
yeah.
now with them being on as on part of the financial economic series as well,
Good.
getting information to help elevate them even more. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's just great, and how little you take little steps and meeting people where they are and helping them to keep going further and further and encouraging them, and just watching their growth is just
Yeah.
really powerful.
And that's what I want to talk about because when I came in, they just knew that they could not use this computer. It was
Mhm.
just too hard. They're too old, you know. They had all types of excuses, and I didn't take those excuses. I was like, listen, we're going to do this. I'm here. I'm patient. We'll take our times. If I have to show you 3, 4, 5 times how to do it, we will do that until you get it. And I'm so
Mhm.
happy to hear. And that's what I'm saying. The limiting beliefs, anything that we keep telling ourselves that we can't do, guess what? We're not going to be able to do it. You know,
Mhm.
you have to keep telling yourself, I can do it. And sometimes we need an outside source to come in
Right.
and say, hey, you got the ability to do this. You can do this. You can do this. And like you said, you sat on your couch, you made 700 and something dollars in a weekend.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
I know before that, you would be like, no, that's impossible. Nobody's
No.
buying
I
from
was,
me. I can't sell. And to see you sit there and just blossom like that, that's amazing. That is
mhm.
absolutely amazing.
Thank you. And
Yeah.
that's all about being around other like-minded women that are all thinking the same thing. How can we be financially secure during this time?
And
And
beyond.
yeah, and beyond. And the thing is like, if I'm going to talk with women about doing this, then I got to do it too.
Yes. If you're going
Right.
to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk.
Yeah, I gotta do it also, and not,
Yeah.
I got my kids is this, my kids that, no. Or I want to go hang out with my girlfriends. No, if I really want this, I'm going to put in the time to do this, and this is what
And
I
talking about
that I
kids,
really want.
you have 6 kids,
Yes, I
right?
do.
So you're
I
the
do.
mom of 6. So that's why I said she does a lot
Yeah.
holistically as a woman and as a businesswoman or a career woman. So you have the 6 kids, you have a husband, you're helping your husband run his business. You have 6 kids. Well, some of them are adults, but you have some that are still at home, right? How are you going to balance all of this, Tanisha? Have you thought about that?
So like I don't know, if you can still hear them in the background, but they're moving around. So I started, no lie, I have signs that I created. Can you see this?
Oh, wow.
So I have one for 1 o'clock. I have one for 3 o'clock, letting them know, okay, I'm in the office during this time. And their main motivator is to be able to use the Xbox or their personal laptop for their time. And so if I get interrupted while I'm conducting business, then they won't have it.
Okay.
So,
all right. That's a good reward system.
It is. And then they also have to get out and go do some exercise. So even if they finished all their classwork, go outside for a half hour at least, right? So that I can finish whatever it is. But it's just those kinds of things. And then when I get a break in between, I'll cook dinner. If I and sometimes my husband will cook. He'll cook dinner. Hello?
I'm still here.
Oh, okay, I look like my screen had got dark. Okay, so he'll help to cook, but it's just a matter of making sure that everybody gets their piece of me, even though I'm really busy. So like times that it's okay to talk to me when I'm in the office is when you see me up walking around, like that's an okay time to talk with me. Just getting everyone on board so that everyone has their own schedule and what it is that they're supposed to do. I write everything down. Here's my kids' schedule.
Oh, you're like me.
Oh, I have to, because I
tell people that all the time. I'm a schedule person.
Yeah, I mean, I would go crazy, and I have to be able to see it and have it so that they can be able to see it as well. So it just helps to keep everything organized, and I'm being productive and not busy.
Right. There you go. Being productive and not busy, because it's easy to be busy doing nothing. Because for me, when I love the list, because I'm a list person. I do a to-do list every single day, because if I don't see physically, like with a check mark, what I've done throughout the day, I can feel at the end of the day that I haven't been productive. But if I have a list to work by and I can see, okay, this was done, that was done, that was done, then I feel a lot better about what I do. Because a lot of times you can sit around and you could be sitting by your desk all day on your computer, and really nothing is getting done. You know, and I love what you're saying, and I hope that a lot of people are listening to this, because I hear a lot of parents complaining, oh, I can't do this and I can't do that because the kids are around. It's about setting boundaries. It's okay to set boundaries with your kids. It's okay to be a firm parent. So like I've been homeschooling my daughter for 5 years. My daughter knows when she hears this voice going, she knows I'm not crazy, so I'm not talking to myself, right?
She knows, right?
It means don't bother me. Your kids there has to be boundaries set within your household in order for you to be okay and for your family to be okay. So like you said, everybody has their schedule. They know what they should be doing. They know if mommy has the sign up, that means don't disturb me. Their reward systems and their penalties for not obeying the rules, you know. So you have to come up with boundaries to make sure that you're taking care of yourself, boundaries to make sure that you're getting the work done. And everybody else, like you said, is getting a piece of you, but you're getting a piece of yourself too, because we don't want to wear ourselves thin and doing so many things that we forget to take care of ourselves first.
Right. Which is ultimate. So like I find time in the first thing in the morning when I get up to go out and go take my walk. Some days it's 45 minutes, some days it's an hour. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Right. But it's a walk with me by myself, and being able to just to think about whatever it is I choose to think about, so that when I come into work, then my game is focused solely on work and not on anything else. And just being able to recharge myself, even though like, well, yeah, you got a good night's sleep, so you should be no, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're fully charged, like
Mhm.
mentally charged. That's
Yes.
the type of charge that I'm talking about. Being able to have sound mind so that when you go into work,
Mhm.
it's clear. There's nothing fuzzy flowing around inside of your head
Mhm.
that's
Mhm.
going to distract you from that. And then also understanding that even though your children and your husband at home, they're also feeling overwhelmed and stressed as well. And so just a
Mhm.
little bit of attention um, may, not may, it will help to settle them down so that you
Mhm.
can then be settled. So
Right.
sometimes you might have to take 5 or 10 minutes
Mhm.
to go and give one of your children, if you have children, a hug to say, hey,
Mhm.
what's going on? Everything's going to be okay. Just
Yeah.
knock this out really quick. And as soon as you knock this out, you can go on and do X, Y, and Z.
Yes.
And that's all they're looking for is just that little that hug because
Mhm.
you're sitting at your desk the entire time. And so that reassurance and letting them know that you love them, you're not forgetting about them, and that you're still here and that you're present for them. But right now you need to take care of this. And then once you're
Mhm.
finished taking care of that, you're going to get back to them. And then once they're settled, then you could get back to your day and do
Yes.
whatever it is that you need to do.
I agree with that 100% because that's exactly how I operate in my house. I make
Mm-hmm.
sure that my daughter gets her time. I check in on her. We are in the same house where she's in her space. I'm in my space. If I'm in my space for too long or she's in her space for too long, one of us will check on each other like, you okay?
Mm-hmm.
And just checking in. And then she goes back to her space. But it's about you can coexist in the same house and
Yep.
have your own space.
Yep.
Set some boundaries. Don't be afraid to set boundaries. People are not going to be upset with you because you're setting boundaries. They'll be more upset with you if you're trying to do everything at one time and then you
Right.
start snapping at people. Because
Yep.
that's usually the result of trying to do too much at one time. You get cranky
Mm-hmm.
and then it's not a good look. So
Yep.
yeah. So um we talked about your businesses. We talked about you starting your Mary Kay business, being the director of the Women's Entrepreneurial Center, helping your husband behind the scenes to build his landscaping business,
Mm-hmm.
and balancing being a mom, balancing being a wife. You have all of these different things going on, and you've seen women, tons of women in various situations through
Right.
coming through the center and people that you interact with in the community. What are three things that you would tell women who are like you and I, who are always on the go? Because you always tell me, girl, you're so busy, I can never find you, but you're
Mm-hmm.
just as busy. Um, you're just
Busy
as busy.
knows busy. Mm-hmm.
But we're not just busy doing busy work. We're actually busy
Right.
doing things that are actually going to culminate into something great.
Mm-hmm.
What three things would you advise, pieces of advice would you give them to not find balance? Because I don't believe there's balance. Balance is really not a thing. It's about finding, what is it? Alignment with
Mm-hmm.
life and their jobs
Right.
or business.
So one, do something that you absolutely love to do. And I wish, for one, that I could have been doing this kind of work for the 20 plus years that I've been in the human service field. But now that I'm finally doing what I actually love doing, it's not work. So
Right.
once you find something that you absolutely love and passionate about and that you think about all the time, that's one thing that'll keep you motivated to keep doing more and more. Not saying that you should do a whole bunch of things, but within reason, right?
Right.
Let's see. The second thing, um, be authentic to yourself, right? Know your limits, know the things that you can and can't do. And if something isn't feeling right to you, don't do it, because if you do, you may end up regretting it, or you end up feeling bad about it, and then you end up beating yourself up over it. So if it doesn't sit well with you, then pass, and it's okay to say no to folks. And that actually that'll be my third one, because
Mhm.
it's easy as women to take on extra stuff from our friends, our family, our employers, and just bog us down where we don't have time to take care of ourselves. So learning how to say no with things that don't align with who you are as a person. And if you're not going to have time, or if you are going to take away time that you have set aside for yourself to do something for someone else, that would be a great time for you to learn how to say no to that. And there's nothing wrong with being selfish to yourself at all. Nothing at all.
No, not at all. Not at all. I like to tell people my middle name is No.
Yeah.
No, and not because like you said, and not because I'm being selfish or I don't want to do something. If I tell you no, trust and believe is because I really can't do it. Like I am spent. All of my bandwidth is used up. If I could do it, I would do it. But I have no problem saying no and not even wanting to give you an explanation as to why not. You know?
But you know what though? Being selfish isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
If you are taking from what you're doing to help you, to replenish you, to recharge who you are, then you're actually being selfless, which is actually worse, right?
Yeah.
So I'm calling selfish.
So, I know. So Tanisha, tell them how they can find you on social media. If they want to buy Mary Kay products from you or just get in contact with you. And what is your site for Mary Kay as well?
Okay, so if anyone is interested in purchasing Mary Kay or learning how to interested in trying to start their own Mary Kay business, you can go on to my website at www.marykay.com/tgrant1023. Also, if you just have more questions about the Women's Empowerment Center, you can reach out to me. I'm going to give you a telephone number because that may be easier. 860-748-7605. You know what? Or you can email me at Grant, T as in Tom, at CRT, no, Grant T at CRTCT.org. That's you can email me there as well for any questions.
All right. Well, Tanisha, thank you so much for joining us this morning for Morning Tea. You gave a lot of good nuggets, a lot of good words of encouragement. I see that we're still a lot more alike than I actually thought. I'm all about systems and processes. Things have to flow. So again, thank you for joining us today, and congratulations on starting your Mary Kay business and making some extra money. Until next time, guys, I'll see you for the next episode of Morning Tea. Have a great rest of your day.